You're listening to the Coach's Journey podcast, exposing the struggles and celebrating the successes in the life of coaches who are action takers and creating authentic impact in today's world. Whether you're just starting out, expanding your reach, or exploding your impact, you're in the right place right now. Stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Now, here are your hosts of the Coach's Journey podcast.
If you want to understand how to deliver sessions at the highest level, especially your discovery call, your strategy session, your first sales call that you do with your clients, stay tuned because you are going to be hearing two seasoned coaches talk about how we've been able to develop a system, a framework around delivering sessions at the highest level. And we'll kind of try to break it down, maybe not the whole framework, but we'll talk about what has worked, what hasn't worked, what we're working on consistently because we're growing as well. And also for those who don't know this in our community, if you're part of our community, we are doing a masterclass on Monday, the 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern on delivering sessions that sell. Today, we're discussing this, but I'm going to walk you through the framework that we actually use, that you can use it in your business to not only deliver sessions at the highest level, but actually increase your conversion rate and also increase your referrals that come from those calls. I'm excited to jump in. Today, Dr. Sheri is not here. She is gone on her, I think she's going to visit family. Daniel, one of our business partners, and an awesome coach is here to join us on this call. Daniel, how do you feel about this topic?
This is such a great topic. It's one that's often like a stumbling block, I think, it was for me for a long time as a coach. So I feel like it's like, how do you have the call, right? It's like, you're all like, as an early coach, I was always worried about like making the sale and like, what about the price and what are they going to say about this? And, how's that all going to go? And, and like, do I know my offers? And like, no, I don't. And, there's so many things going through a coach's mind in their discovery session that a little bit of preparation can help a lot with, but also like how to run them and how to feel about them. It just takes time. And there's some shortcuts for sure, but you have to like put in some reps and get practice too. So I would just encourage everybody out there, if you're struggling with discovery sessions, or sometimes call them strategy sessions or intro sessions or initial sessions, whatever you want to call them. If you're struggling with those, that's okay. It's part of the process. Hopefully today we'll be able to help you a little bit with that. And on Monday, the masterclass will definitely help you even more. And then just go out and practice the stuff, right? Take the time to prepare, especially if, like, debrief your previous calls. That's, it's things I should have done when I was a beginning coach.
Yeah. There's one phrase that changed my coaching business, and that's from The Prosperous Coach. And I read it and just stuck in my head by Rich Litvin saying, if you really want to get better as a coach, if you really want to sell a high ticket coaching program, if you really want to serve at the highest level, the main thing you need to be focused on is coach, coach, and coach. And that those three, like coach, coach, and coach, has been in my head for the past 6 years. I'm like, okay, and my whole goal, and even Rich Litvin talks about, is like one of the things that helped him move ahead was that he did more sessions than anybody else around him at that time. He didn't care how he did them, where he got the sessions from. He's like, my goal is to find as many sessions that I can do with people. So not only do I understand this process, but I understand what actually works and what doesn't, and improve my skill sets in this process. So yeah. What are your thoughts about that, Danny?
I love that. It's just kind of like, if you're an artist or songwriter or whatever, the best way to like get good is to just write a song every day or draw art every day. And because there's lots of research around like quantity actually creates some really good pieces. Whereas, if you just focus on like the one really good thing, it might not work. Right. So you want to do like as much as possible. And I love that approach because it's like, even if you know nothing, you have no experience, you suck, you don't even know what coaching means. If you just have these conversations with people over and over and over and over again, so many times that it just becomes second nature to you, all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, after like a whole ton of these, you're going to be good. Like you're going to be better than 99% of people just by doing that. Right. It's like, if you do enough reps at anything, you're just going to be better than most people.
And I want to give some frame of reference around this. And this is, for me, this was interesting because when I was going the first couple of years of my coaching, if I just added up how many sessions I actually did, I don't think I did more than like 15, 20 sessions in a whole year. In a whole year.
Yeah. So true. Me too.
And pretty much every coach I've talked to, like, how many people have you coached? How many people have you been in sessions with? first of all, they don't even know what that is, that number. But if they were to kind of do some calculation in their head, it's not that many people. And therein lies the problem. And one of the things I learned from Brendan Burchard is that if you're gonna build any craft, do it every day, even if you do it for 30 minutes. Whatever you need to do that thing every day, be in that, or at least on your work days. And for me, my initial thought was, no, I need to spend a while in a week, 30 hours, 40 hours doing this. But no, the thing that actually helped me more than anything else to actually just consistently be in the game. So I'm either reaching out to people to support them, or I'm in conversations. And after 7.5 years, I'm still doing the same thing. It's amplified a little bit. Same exact process. I'm just in coaching conversations pretty much every day. At this point, I'm doing a mix of group and one-on-one. Initially, when I started out, it was mostly one-on-one sessions.
Yeah, I love that consistency, because like at the end of the day, you have to find a way to invite people into conversations and then have a way to have those conversations. And those are the two things you need the most reps at as a beginning coach, right? It's like getting people into the conversation and then having the conversation. So the fact that you're still doing it today just tells people, like, that can be a long-term game, not just like, oh, if I do it for 2 months, it doesn't work. Well, I guess it's not going to work. I should try something else, or I should quit. Like, yeah.
And also from a sales point of view, and I want to give some numbers. So because a lot of times when you're starting out, you don't know what the hell works. You don't know what I should do. So we kind of get involved in multiple different things. Yesterday, I had a conversation with a coach within our community. She was doing a lot of things, but it was not related to the coaching business. It wasn't actually helping move anything forward. And she knew it. She's like, well, I've kind of fallen off the past month. And that's the sense. And that's what happens. You do it for a little bit and then you fall off, and then maybe you will go back after a month or 2 months. But just to give you an understanding of this, I think if we're looking at it from a business and sales point of view, you need to, one of the most important metrics I would say is your conversion rate. Understand how many, if you were to do 10 calls, how many of those people will want to work with you, will sign up for your package. And so if you haven't done 10 calls, or if you don't even know what that is, I would just assume you would sign up 1 out of 10 in the beginning, just 1 out of 10. So here was my challenge when I was starting out. So that I remember the first year, I think I did maybe 12 calls or something. Out of those, I signed up 1. And I was like, I suck. But the whole year I did 12 calls. I didn't do enough calls to even understand it. So a good reference point is get to 100 calls. If you do 100 calls, you will know beyond a shadow of doubt what's happening. And then you can improve from there. You can't improve something you don't actually see what that is, where you are.
Yeah. One of the mindset challenges in that early phase, especially if you don't have another source of income, a lot of coaches will be in where I was, which is, oh, I have to make a sale. And the focus was on like selling that person. So which made me really afraid to fail in those conversations. So I wasn't willing to have it. Like, I think that's why I only had like maybe a dozen conversations as well, the strategy sessions that year. And I also sold just 1. And it was somebody who signed up for my 12 session package, but only wanted to pay for 6 up front. And then after 6, he would do the rest. And I was like, okay. And then he quit after 6. Right. So, but like, that was a learning experience, right? Like every session I did was a learning experience, but the problem, I wasn't seeing it that way. I was seeing it like a failure. Oh, everybody said no. So like, oh, and then it set me back, and then it would take me longer to be willing to have another conversation. And so like, if I had thought differently, if I heard the one thing, like that your goal is to just get to 100 conversations, no matter how many no's you get, like that would have been a way more fun goal. I could have tracked that. I could have fun with that goal and be like, okay, great. One more point. I could be tracking the points to 100 instead of like feeling like a failure every time I got a no and then resisting the next call. Like if I don't want to have these calls because I know I'm going to get a no, then it's like, what is that person going to think when I finally have the call to them? What's going to come out of my own, mental game there, right? It's like, oh, you're probably going to say no, but is the message they're going to send.
Yeah, and even I love that, because even to this day, I have a couple of calls, and just so I laid out how I do them, and I think you can share how you approach them. So generally, if I get a referral or somebody books a call, it's usually like a 20-minute or a 30-minute call. I'll get on that call. I'll find out a little bit about them, what they're trying to do, why they thought coaching will help them, why they got interested. So it gives me some data as to where they're coming from. But essentially, I'm trying to figure out whether or not we're kind of a fit just initially in that area. Have they gone through a coaching process? And would I even want to have a longer conversation with them? After I do that, I book a longer call and I tell them, like, yesterday I had one of those calls, and incredible guy. Like he had built complete financial freedom. Like most people dream about that. He was on autopilot, his income. He's like, at this point, my concern is not money. He was looking to figure out his own purpose. He was looking to be a better father, better husband, a better contributor. And he's like, most of my week is spent either going with my friends golfing or something like that, or I am in the personal development world. I'm in my faith. I'm trying to be a better father. I love that. I was so excited about that. And I told him, like, I don't know if I can help you or if we can go deeper in this area, but I'm really excited to jump in and go dive deep. But I'm really excited about the things that you're trying, and it feels very aligned with the way that I think and many of my clients are going towards. Would you be open to doing a deeper dive on this? That is it. And he's like, I'm curious. That's all. And so I don't know until I do that session what will happen. And I don't even know if he will be a client. He might not even be a client. But, and this is the part that's important for coaches to understand based on what Daniel said, is that a lot of times we're looking for a sale. I'm not looking for a sale. I want to deliver value for a couple of reasons. One, this gets a few reasons. One, this helps me get better, and I'm in a deep dive session with a high value client or with any client. I'm going deeper with them. I'm understanding whether or not my process works. I'm getting feedback in that process. What I'm also doing is I'm entering their network in a sense. If I'm able to add value, whether they sign up or not, I just got access to their network. So one of two things will happen. Either he will refer me, or I'm explicitly asking them at the end, even if they don't sign up, is there anybody else in your network that would benefit from coaching like that? Then I get in touch with another one. Then I get in touch with another one. This is how you get into an industry. This is how I got involved in investors industry, because I did so many strategy sessions with them before I knew it. They pretty much, many of them know me by now, because I've done a strategy session with somebody from their network, or I've done a group call with somebody from their network. And then best case scenario, they sign up. That's even better. You'll get referrals. So you're either at the end of the session, you're either learning to get better, or you've added value, either getting a referral or you're signing up that client. I don't care what happens.
You either get referrals or you get referrals. But, like you also, I would add another thing. There's another benefit to you is you get to serve, right? And so like the thing, like to actually literally right before this call, the reason we didn't start at the time we were supposed to was I had a few extra minutes from my last, it was like a connection call, which was a 30-minute call, but it ended up being like an hour call, because they had a lot to share, and they were being very, very vulnerable. I wanted to give them that respect, but I realized like we're gonna need a deeper call here, and that's usually the path anyways. But like I really feel just him having the ear today was really beneficial for him, and it also gave me the opportunity to put that call on my calendar Friday. Yeah, I would be happy to get the sale, but I'm not sure yet if I want that sale. I want to see how it goes, but what I'm really excited about is I know I can help this person. I know I can help them in all the ways that they were talking about. And so on Friday, I'm going to do my discovery call with them. And it's 2 hours. Like for me to be willing to spend 2 hours on the phone with somebody, not knowing if it's going to be a sale, like that's why I have the connection call. I don't want to have a connection call with somebody that I don't want to have a full strategy call with somebody that it's just not going to be a fit. And I know that, but the fact that I am excited to help this person makes me excited to go on Friday, because I know I'm going to make a difference. And if I make a difference, like I'm making a difference, which is what I want to be doing in my life. Right. So like, that's another way to think about like if you get a no, or if you get a not yet, and most no's are usually not yet, you made a difference in that call regardless.
Yeah. I love that. And I want to wrap this up. So if you really want to get, without any frameworks, without anything else, just like Daniel said in the beginning, if you really want to get better at this process, make it a goal to do at least 100 calls this year or in the next 6 months. It doesn't matter who you do it with. And these are longer strategy or discovery calls where you actually add value, support them, and also offer your program. So don't not offer your program at the end of the call or ask for a referral. one or the other, or both of them.
Or both, yeah.
Or both of them. So what will happen is by the end of the 100 calls, and here's my prediction, and you can come back to me. My prediction is that you will probably end up with at least 8 to 10 clients, depending on how you've structured your call. If you don't end up with 8 to 10 clients, then reach out to me. We have data to analyze now. We can see how we can accelerate it, because all you might need is a few tweaks. But it might even be that you sell a lot more. You might be much better than you think. So take that as a challenge. Do that the next 6 months or 1 year. Set it up for yourself. You will be thanking us at the end of 6 months. I wish I had done that.
And just for math, if you think 100 is a lot, think about it this way. That's 8 per month for 12 months.
That's not that many calls.
8. That's 2 a week. If you have 2 calls a week with somebody, everybody can do that if you really set your mind to it. Like, for example, if you're pursuing this on a half-time basis or more. Now, if you're only pursuing this on a shorter time frame, then you can adjust, but like the time frames. But if you're full-time and this is all you're doing in 6 months, that's 4 calls a week.
You should be able to do a lot more if you're doing this full-time. I'm actually talking to people who have maybe 10 hours a week. If you book 5 calls a week, that's
I'm not trying to scare them.
yeah. This is an uncomfortable process. And by the way, most coaches, this is the part that they're scared of more than anything else. To put themselves out there in a call, not knowing that whether or not they will add value. And even the person that I mentioned yesterday, I felt out of my comfort zone a little bit when I'm like, let's jump in. I don't know what's going to happen, because I saw that he had done a lot of work in there. And I've actually gotten in those calls. I realized I did one call, I think 3-4 months ago, with this business owner. He was actually a monk as well. At the end of it, I stepped back. I'm like, I don't think you need this coaching. And what I recommend, I'm like, I have a feeling that you need a different kind of support. And he said, you know what? I need a business consultant in my field. I don't need a coach. And he had done a lot of work at that point. But what he did do is he connected me with his business partner. He's like, I feel like I'm showing up as a coach with my business partner. I'm like, all right, let's book a call with you. Now I've done a session with this business partner. They want me to get involved a little bit in their team. So it's leading into a direction that I didn't even know. I didn't even sign up the first person on a call. So you never know what opportunity you're going to get.
You're listening to the Coach's Journey podcast.